Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our one more book launch event. My name is Anjali Vishwakarma. I am the host for today on behalf of Adhyan Books. So, आशा करती हूँ आपको हमारे नए ऑथर से मिलना, उनके बुक्स के बारे में जानना पसंद आ रहा होगा। इसके बारे में हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में जरूर बताइएगा। तो आज हम जिस किताब के बारे में बात करेंगे, उस किताब का नाम है Navigating the Digital Future of Supply Chain and Operations, Guiding Professional Journey Through Disruptive Change. This book is a concise guide to mastering supply chain management, operations, and digital transformation. It highlights key strategies, emerging technologies, and offers a career advice, making it a valuable resource for professionals and students seeking success in the industry. इस किताब के ऑथर हैं डॉक्टर सुमंत के नायक. He is an expert in supply chain management, digital transformation, and business operations with over 15 years of experience, currently in a senior leadership role. He combines academic knowledge with different expertise and is a recognized thought leader, published author, and speaker in his field. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Dr. Sumant K. Nayak. हेलो सर, कैसे हैं आप?
हेलो, बस बढ़िया एकदम. हाउ आर यू?
आई एम फाइन सर. सर, कैसा लग रहा है आपको? आपकी बुक Amazon पर लॉन्च हो चुकी है.
Yeah, this is the first book, so अच्छा लगता है, and it's something that has been waiting for too long, and देखते हैं यहाँ से कहाँ तक पहुँचेंगे. So it's a good milestone that I had in my checkbox to achieve, so it's a good experience.
Okay. So, sir, firstly, I would like to know what motivated you to write this book, specifically on this topic.
Yeah, so since I have a PhD and connect with a couple of business schools, I keep visiting them and giving information about the current trends and what should students look out for the future.
Okay.
This 90 minutes or 1 hour of a discussion was not fulfilling for me because there is so much of information that one can share about the future in this supply chain and operation and digital transformation space as such. That is where it triggered me saying that, first 5 years, second 5 years, and third 5 years. So total of 15 years of your career, which I have traveled. I thought I can document it really very well, talk to a few more people and understand the other departments in supply chain. And that is how this book got curated.
That's so nice to know. Okay. And so, what is your favorite part of being a writer?
Articulation of thoughts, and moreover, connecting it with the reader is the best, part of writing the book, because you are free, you have a lot of thoughts, and there is a lot of need. So you're trying to help someone with what you know or what you have experienced. So that's a good part of being an author.
Right, true, very true. Okay. So, sir, how do you explain supply chain to someone who has never heard of it?
Yeah, even today, many of them are saying that, what do you do? I say supply chain, and people ask, okay, what is that chain? So it's very difficult to, explain. But over a period of time, I find an analogy saying that it's like a river, right? So rivers generally start with some drops, and eventually they river become a big water flowing body. So, but if you observe river, it goes into forests, it stops at let's say a check dam, and then it falls from a waterfall. So over a period of time, it adds value to whoever is besides river, right? Same is what I see as movement of products and materials. It starts somewhere, it takes a shape, and then it comes into your factory, or let's say in kitchen, and then it gets mixed or assembled with other materials around, and then finally an end consumer would consume it. The other analogy that I always try and give is our kitchen. So you have a rack, you have multiple dals, you have vegetable, you all take it in one quantity each. You value add. You can't eat dal just like out of your bottle. You can't eat tomato just, I mean, you can eat tomato, but every day you can't eat tomato, only tomato, right? So
Right.
there is this value addition process that happens. And at the end, there is a product that creates or gets created for somebody who wants to use it, experience it, or consume it. So that's how I would put supply chain in a very simple language.
Okay, okay. And so, like, what is the biggest change in supply chain after COVID-19?
Many changes have happened after COVID-19. One is those who are in supply chain, they want transparency, saying that, okay, what is happening at my vendor's place? What is happening at my supplier's place? The other one is more of resiliency and more of flexibility. When I say flexibility, earlier it was like, I have one supplier giving me this component. Today, the stand is I'm not happy with one supplier. I need the same component to be produced by another supplier, and I balance between these two suppliers because something can go wrong anywhere. So
Right,
that my supply chain is really safe and sturdy to serve my customers who are waiting for the product. So
right,
these are certain things that we are looking, and because we learned during COVID, I think today's geopolitical wars, I think we have almost 2 or 3 wars that are going on in the world. But still, of course, we have disruptions in the supply chain, but we know how can we manage these kind of disruptions going forward. So we have fairly learned a lot after COVID-19.
right. Very true. We actually have learned a lot in COVID-19. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, sir, how does digital technology help in marketing supply chains better?
It's ease of use and speed and efficiency and let's say real-time data tracking, loss of let's say productivity. All of this is kind of addressed, or I won't say loss of productivity, improvement of productivity as such.
Right.
Let's take one example, right? We get all these Blinkits and Zomatos and Swiggies within 10 minutes. How is that possible? The possibility of technology is I place an order to a particular restaurant, and nearby restaurant we are trying to search who can be the nearest person to attach to that restaurant. He picks the order and he gets delivered to me. Now all this is
Right.
supply chain itself. Now that's the speed of technology, or that's the power of technology, where earlier probably we used to give a phone call to our corner kirana shop and ask him, what is available, what is not available. You give him a list, and when you are walking towards that shop, you probably go and pay him and get the grocery. But today Blinkit does that, right?
Right.
So this is the power of technology, and that's how technology has changed everybody's behavior as such.
Right, right, right. Very true. So now actually it's very easy to get anything anytime. Like whenever you want something, you just have that in minutes, right?
Correct.
That's
Correct. Yes.
right. Okay. And so why is it important for companies to keep up with new technology?
It is competitive advantage today. If you look at let's travel back for about 15 years or so, or 20 years or so. uh, Technology as a life was somewhere about 5 years or 8 years or something like that. I mean, if you ask somebody to develop a software, it used to take months or years to take a good shape, right?
Right,
Last 5 years, let's come to last 5 years. That speed has cut short, or the speed has increased, and it's not months or years together. It's like days, probably a month or two. You see your mobile updates coming up every 6 months, right? You
right,
see your software getting updated in Windows or anywhere as such every now and then. Today with AI, the speed of innovation with the help of democratized technology is extremely fast.
right,
You are doing something on a platform today. Tomorrow morning there is a new platform that is competing with the same other platform that you're working, and it is much more better. So there is infiltration of technology throughout, and the speed has increased. So if you do not adopt the technology as a company, then your competitors will do so. You will be behind in the race. So it's evident. It's no more saying that I don't want to use technology. It's like, if you don't want to use technology, you will shut down very soon.
Right, right, right. Very true. And it is actually very important to update yourself as well, time to time, right? As a company also you have to update yourself time to time, right? Very,
Correct,
very.
correct.
Okay. So now what does operational excellence mean in simpler terms?
If you are able to do a task in a particular way that you have thought, and if you are able to repeat that particular task n number of time delivering the same result, that is excellence, right? Now, enabling this excellence in any of your processes again and again, which is called as repeatability and reproducibility. If this happens, that is operational excellence. Now, that's the way, efficiently you can use your resources. You will be optimizing your processes. It improves your experience for a customer. I mean, again, if I go back to something like Amazon, or let's say booking a car in a car showroom, right? Uh, if you go or I go for booking a car, the experience is the same. You are waiting for 3 days, I am also waiting for 3 days. That means the back-end production system is well planned, well stitched,
Right.
and well articulated. So that is, operational excellence. So ensuring that your customer experience throughout is the best.
Right. So Sumanji, like as you are using the examples, it's getting easy for me as well. I am also understanding it in a very easy manner. Thank you. Thank you for that. And like what kind of jobs can someone find in supply chain field?
I would, explain it in a different way. So, job in supply chain is throughout the layer, so to say, right? Even a person who is not so well educated, may not, for various reasons, financially, he couldn't complete his degree, or he's not getting a job, or whatever it is. Today, just download an app and you are into a Blinkit or a Zomato or a Swiggy to get in there. That is called last mile delivery boys, right? It's last mile delivery crew that these guys call. That's a very crucial layer of job, because without these guys, you do any strategy, any presentation, any budgeting, nothing happens. So this is a very, I would say, biggest market, where you don't need much of skill. You need only basic minimum, let's say, phone operating abilities, and a minimum read and write capacities. So that's the first layer, right? Then comes the officially learned people. I won't say the others are not, because they generally transfers to the next level, saying that, okay, now let me handle, let's say, distribution center. Let me handle one center of Blinkit. Let me handle one small center of maybe Amazon distribution center. So this is how the next layer comes up. Then it things grows on, and I have very clearly written on in the book, saying that, first 5 years is whatever degree you might have done. The first 5 years is value realization of the degree that you have earned, where you learn and apply the theories that you had learned through the books. For example, if you are doing procurement management, if you want to procure something, you have read about it, you have not done it. So in those first 5 years, you try and learn how to do procurement, how to do negotiation, how to call for different quotes, how to get in touch with vendors. So this is how you get your hand dirty in the first 5 years. The second 5 years would be generally one layer up, that is managing a couple of more people, getting more exposure to managerial skills. And the third 5 years is more of you've gained a lot of operational knowledge, right?
Right.
How to do things, how to get things done is already learned. Now, the next 5 years, that's your 10 to 15th year in the timeline, is more about what more can you improve in the existing setup. It's
Right.
more of transformation. It's more of strategic thinking. It's more of futuristic alignment, saying that okay, we are able to deliver, let's say, our product in 3 days. How can I ensure that the product can be delivered in 24 hours? That thinking of transforming from 3 days to 24 hours is what you will be probably doing after you are in a position of after 10 to 15 years. So that's how I broadly classify various stages, roles, and jobs that are available. And yeah, more in the book.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. And like, what skills are the most useful for working in supply chain management?
um I mean, I was asked this, or I was told by my faculty saying that if you want to get into supply chain and operations, use common sense. So that was the first, definition that was given in my first class of supply chain. Then I was wondering, why was it? Um, Having spent 15 to 16 years in the industry, what I feel is we go overboard with all the new things that we have, data analytics and, using AI or using all sorts of
Right.
tools that we have, but we forget fundamentals, right?
Right.
So sometimes we get overlooked through the fundamentals. So I would say stick on to those common, fundamentals that are taught in supply chain as such, so that to do that, I think you should have a very good communication, because it's more about telling what you want and getting things done from one place to another.
Right.
And it could be written, it could be oral, it could be anything. It's more about communication that you should be having, and detailed orientation. It's about getting into the details and knowing how can you solve a problem, because supply chain is all about problems, right? When you say that my truck is not coming on time, then you must think how can you utilize that delayed time for others who are waiting for the truck,
Right.
right? So it's about details, it's about problem solving, it's about having a good business understanding. So I mean, the list goes on, but it is not a complex science for anybody to be scared of. It is, of course, when you get into operations or supply chain, I think at least I felt that it's take one step at a time, take the problem, understand what that is, get into the details, think what can you do the best. So I think
Right.
that's how I put it as a skill sets that are required.
Right. So, Sumanji, like, I really want to say one thing, that as you have said, this is not a kind of a rocket science, right? That no one can understand. But I really want
Yeah.
to appreciate your explanation, that the way you are explaining, anyone can easily learn this. I really want to appreciate your
Yeah. So
explanation.
believe me, only rocket science is rocket science. Other things are not. Yeah.
Right, true. Okay. So, sir, uh, how can someone get started with a career in supply chain or digital transformation?
I would start with supply chain first. Anybody who wanting to get into supply chain is like, get to those initial fields of where you can do things first. Now, for example, let's say you got an opportunity to handle warehouse management, or you got an opportunity to handle a fleet of trucks in a logistics company, or you got a chance to work as a procurement analyst where you are doing procurement. So what I'm in all these three examples that I gave, it's all about doing things. You
Right.
know, When you do it, you understand all the nuts and bolts of the process or that subject. That is the starting point, I would say. Now, that is when you will do two things. One, either you will find interest in doing it more, or you will also find interest in what your manager or your seniors are doing it in a different way. Right? That's one track. The other track is you're completely out, saying that this is not my cup of tea, I'm going out. Fair enough. But if you're taking part one or the track one, I think once you gain interest, that's when you will have to start gaining a bit of structured academic knowledge. That's where you can pick up certain courses and say, okay, what is that I don't know, right? So be curious and try to gather that structured knowledge and see how can you step up in your ladder. The other most important thing, once you enter into the career, right, it's very important to be understanding what the technology trend is in your own domain. And when I say domain, supply chain is a big ocean. So let's since we have started procurement as an example, what technology is trending, who is using what and where and when. All of this is becoming really very important to upskill yourself,
Right.
because most of your processes, most of what you are doing, a system can still do. Can you learn how system can do it, and how can you learn the other side of the story? This is how you need to be very curious, and you need to be very active listener to understand what are the trends that are going on. So this is how you can enter, and after entering into supply chain, what is that you need to do is also is what I told.
Right. And Sumanji, do you think that soft skills like team management and communication is important in this field?
Oh yeah, extremely important, because you're dealing with multiple people. It could be your own company members, it could be outsiders, it could be any level of. When I say level, I'm not degrading anybody here, but you could talk to a vice president of another company. You could also talk to your own driver who is carrying your own precious material from one point to another. So it's all a teamwork. My manager can sit and say that get things done. Yes, how? I have to have a very good coordination and rapport with my team members who are doing those things actually, right? So communication, team activity, or being a team leader or a team player, I mean, over a period of time, we all become people leaders. Though you might be a domain expert, you end up becoming people leaders, because you need to understand how to communicate, how to collaborate, how to jointly win the problem that you have. So of course, yes, I mean, no doubt on that.
Right. That's very true. And okay, and so Sumanji, what are some easy ways companies can start improving their supply chains?
Companies are already, I mean, there. I mean, that's the reason why I could write the book in itself. So what company, I would rather say what companies are doing more and more. Companies are looking at different trends, and now the companies are also kind of very open to share what they are doing, so that others can adopt it. So there is best practice sharing. There is enough of conferences and academic tie-ups where a lot of research has been done as to how a problem can be solved, and there are enough international forums where various different problems are being spoken about, deliberated, debated, and then a conclusion is coined together for everybody to be applying or using those solutions. So n number of things that companies plus the countries are also doing, so that we have a very good supply chain network across the globe. So there's no one thing that I can point out, but there are so many things that are happening in the world.
Right. Okay. So, and my next question to you is, Sumanji, how can companies be eco-friendlier with supply chain?
That's a big debate today. I mean, uh, how can you be eco-friendly? Just imagine, let's take one example as Mintra. How many packets do we order, right? Now, can those plastics be replaced by something else? It's not only Mintra's responsibility. It's all those scientists who are working around it, all of us who are working around it or purchasing. It's a responsibility of everybody to think really sustainable way of living, right?
Right.
Now, another example, we all get milk in the morning. Everything is in a plastic cover.
True.
How can we, I mean, we are so behind that we have not even found a replacement of that. Of course, there are few companies who say we only supply milk in a glass bottle, and the glass bottle is taken back. Our direct suppliers like Gualas do come with can. We take that in vessel. Very sustainable living, yes, but is it scalable? So when it comes to the question of scalability, that's where sustainability is getting debated.
Right.
That's where your pricing factors will come into play. Can I give you as cheap as what I'm getting today? Right? Those questions start coming into play. It is a topic of a deep discussion. Very and all the companies are now getting towards having a sustainability balance sheet as such. Just the way we have profit and loss account, they are thinking of a kind of scorecard or a tracking mechanism to say how sustainable is our supply chain. Having said that, not that all are so non-sustainable. There are companies who are only working on sustainable products, so that's a good sign as well. Long way to go, but definitely not a happy situation for sure.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. And why is it important for a company to be flexible with its supply chain?
For the only reason of disruption that we are experiencing, and we have gone through one phase, that is COVID. Uh, Without flexibility, I mean, it's like this: you observe a pond filled with water, right? You just throw one stone, you have so many ripple effects,
Right.
right? Now, treat that stone as a problem in supply chain, and when you hit that problem at a particular point, there are wavering effects on multiple nodes of supply chain or multiple places of supply chain. That's the reason why we need to have flexibility, we need to have alternates, we need to have so many arrangements to be done, so that any such problem hits our supply chain, we can kindly immediately shift to something else and get things done, keep moving on.
Right.
So that's the reason why we need to have flexible supply chain.
Flexibility, right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And Sumanji, what's one big mistake you see companies making with their supply chains?
Now many of them are correcting it. It is about relying on one source of supply as such. But yeah, after COVID, it's called plus one strategy. So everybody is thinking, okay, I have one manufacturing who is supplying this. I need to have another one somewhere else so that I'm safe. So that was one of the very big mistake that most of them have had done. But now, because of this COVID and the wars, all of this, people have learned the harder way. And few intelligent companies have had it already. So COVID was not a problem for them because they had multiple, sources of supplies, etc.
So that was the biggest mistake that companies are doing right now, right? Okay.
Correct.
And Sumanji, how do you think, like, how do technologies like AI can help in supply chain management?
AI has come in everywhere for sure. In supply chain as specific, it's more to be from a forecasting and demand forecasting space, where AI has been of a good help, because it can do things accurately, optimizing of routes, inventory tracking, and identifying potential issues before it's more proactive, because you have a large set of data that you have worked on, and it can give you many analytical models that we were in a better place to do without AI as well.
Right.
But the speed was the issue, right? Because of AI, the processing time or the calculation time has reduced, and we are more capable or powerful today to use live data and do analysis out of it. So you know how things are speeding up, and accordingly you can arrange your backup plans. Now if your market demand is increasing, let's say within 4 or 5 days there is a festival, there are certain things that needs to get sold, but there is a weather forecast saying that there would be raining, and there is a prediction or there is a behavior that we will not be able to sell so much. All your supplies that are coming through your way, probably you can divert that to the right place where there is no rain, right? So all that is very quickly possible today with the help of AI. I mean, speed, accuracy, optimum utilization of resources, all these are the areas there where AI is helping us a lot.
Right, right, right. And Sumanji, do you think that is it important for companies to invest in their employee trainings?
So now is the time to invest in employee trainings, because somebody said that AI will not take over your job. The person who knows AI will take your job.
Well, right, very
So, right. So it's important to kind of upskill yourself, and as I said earlier, know the other side of the table and be there, rather than sitting here and crying that, oh, some automation is happening, AI is taking over, I'm unable to do anything. No, you go the other side of the table and say how you can learn AI and do the same thing the other way around. Right.
very
So that's how I think. I mean, going forward, this is evident that upskilling is the only way. Otherwise, survival becomes a challenge.
right. That's very true, actually. Right. Okay. Yeah. And Sumanji, what's an example of a new technology you are excited about for supply chains?
Blockchain is one thing that I'm very excited about, and there is a good scale of implementation happening. AI was not there till the last chat GPT that got opened up for every one of us to use, but after that there is kind of super fast implementation and utilization of these technologies that are happening. And the combination of all that has happened in last 1.5 year is itself an exciting event, because every day you go to a YouTube or a good news channel or a newsletter, you see a lot of applications of technology so fast. I mean, that speed was never there, and that creativity was there, probably now got powered more with the new technology. So the entire era is very exciting, rather than only picking up any technology, because adoption has become really very fast. So that's exciting.
Right, right, right. True. And Sumanji, what do you think how supply chain is going to look like after 5 years?
That's 5 years is a very big timeline to think about, because of the speed and creativity that we have in the technology. But what I can kind of articulate is IoT, systems to system talking even more. Right today, one simple example: we wear Fitbits, right, smartwatches, but the usage of smartwatch is not up to that level.
Right.
It is going to increase. Smartphone, somewhere I read a report saying that smartphone will soon be non-existent, and there is another device that will come in place, and which you need not carry. It's like you're saying something and here is the phone, just keep it aside, here is your phone. So there are such virtual reality, augmented reality, all of this coming in play. I don't know if I can kind of articulate too much about what's the change going to be. But yeah, it's an exciting time, that next 5 to 8 years for sure, because we have just begun AI journey. So
Right.
not even many experts are able to say what is going to happen, because there is so much that is happening on the technology front.
Okay, okay. And so, Sumanji, what advice would you like to give to someone who wants to work in supply chain?
I would say stay curious and continuously learn, upskill yourself. Definitely have one flavor of technology in whatever domain that you're working, irrespective of supply chain. I think even if you are doing finance, see how technology is getting involved. Even if you're doing HR, see how technology is helping. Of course, in supply chain is more important for me because, of course, I work in the domain, but uh, it's a space where the opportunity is even more, or probably pushed more, because that is a cost center. Supply chain is always spent, right? We are not doing sales is always making money, whereas supply
Right,
chain is, if I have to move from material from one place to another, okay, I need to get a truck or a small auto, I have to pay him, I don't get anything, it's just I'm moving from here and there. Now,
right,
how do we optimize this? What's the method to spend less but still get things done? So that's where a lot of technology need is also there. There is push and there is a requirement as well. So yeah, be curious and have a lot of technology flavor in your area of work. So that is what I would say, because next 5 years are going to be totally different.
right, right, right. Okay. So, Sumanji, now I would like to know that were there any tough parts when you were writing this book? And like, if there's any tough part, how did you handle them?
The tough part is um, let's say structuring the thought was a very difficult part, because I had so many things in my write up or a scribbling board, but was not able to kind of concentrate and communicate or write something that somebody should read about it.
Right,
Now, even coming down to a topic like this was also a very difficult challenge, because it's a big ocean. And I personally believe that when it comes to supply chain, nobody is an expert, because supply chain has logistics. That means if you want to understand logistics, you need to spend at least 5 to 6 years.
right,
Supply chain has procurement, then you need to spend 5 to 6 years to be an expert there. So by that time, you're already 10 years done. So you have at least 40 years in your career. So even if you hop and jump into all departments, when you retire is when you become an expert.
right,
So this was running in my mind. Then I felt that, okay, when I took this journey for the last 15 years, what is that I did? What guidance did I get? And is this available for people? For those enthusiasts who want to get into supply chain, that's the gap that I found, and understood that, okay, let me share what I experienced. And meanwhile, I had a lot of conversation with experts and try to collate what is possible. And that's how the journey of writing this book happened. Of course, there were difficult, tough parts as well.
right, right, right. Okay. So, Sumanji, do you have any tips or activities for readers to try after reading your book?
Assess which 5 years you are in. Is it your first 5 years, second 5 year, and third 5 year? And there is a way to see how equipped you are, because in each role I have mentioned certain basic minimum requirements, and it's not that that's all, right? There is so much out there in the internet to learn and study, but at least that gives you a starting point, saying that, okay, in this role A, B, C, D is required. Fine, what more? Just go and search. You at least have a starting point and a framework in the book. So I would say, once you've read the book, you understand where do you stand, and it also says what are the challenges that are upcoming or that are there in the industry. Your preparedness to attack those challenges probably will give you a better. You will be better equipped to deal with those challenges and progress well. So that's the tip that I would, like to share after reading the book.
Right. Okay. And Sumanji, to whom do you want to dedicate this book?
I would definitely dedicate this to my entire family, my parents, my sibling, my wife, my kids, because all of them have let me write the book. They did not disturb, or they said, okay, this guy is doing something, just leave him alone. So that space was given to me, and hence I was able to kind of deliver this. So of course, it's all about the family.
Okay, okay, okay. And so Sumanji, have you received any feedback till now for your book? And what if you have received any feedback, what kind of feedback that is? And how you have felt for that feedback?
Yeah, I've got a feedback from one of the industrialists. Of course, he was not the target audience to read, but he did read the book and said, uh, I feel envied because I did not have this guidance to read through another book, which I would have had in my days to read and take step by step career progression. So that was very moving because uh, I mean anybody who purchases a book would read the requirement of the book or the framework, who is it written for, what comes out of the book, etc. Despite having written that, he could purchase it, he could read it, and he sent me a message saying that like the way you wrote, no high jargons or English is written. It's all simple language, and it's more of experience sharing that I have written there. So that is what he liked about the book.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Sumanji, are you working on any other project as well? Like, are you planning to write any other book as well?
Yeah, with what has happened and the experience that I've gained, I think I have a couple of ideas that to write. This time it will not be my experience. I'm trying to see how can I gather others' experience and conceptualize that into a book. Because
Right.
not everybody are interested in writing a book. So be it. That's fine. But can I extract their knowledge, put that
True.
into a concept, and then
Right.
share it? Of course, give them credit, saying that I understood from Mr. X, Miss Y, and they work in this industry, and that's how I write a book. So probably that's another thing that's there in my mind. Need to conceptualize better.
Right. And that's a very good thing actually, because everyone doesn't have the same experience, right? If I'm having
Right.
some kind of experience, you are having that another kind of experience, right? But in the
Right.
same field. So
Yeah.
that's very good. That's very good thought of yours. So Sumanji, we like really enjoyed like knowing about the supply chain management, and thank you so much for sharing all of these insights, all of these examples with us. And it was really great having a word with you. So thank you so much, Sumanji, for joining this book launch event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and giving this opportunity to launch the book.
Thank you, sir. So guys, आज हमने जो सीखा, so it was really great to know about supply chain management, like the things we do not know and knowing about them, it's really great. So I would like to tell you that please do purchase the book of Mr. Dr. Sumant K. Nair and do read that if you want to gain some knowledge about supply chain management. So thank you for watching us. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. हम ऐसे ही न्यू बुक लॉन्च इवेंट्स के साथ आते रहेंगे, न्यू ऑथर्स के साथ, और उनके बारे में जानकर आपको और भी ज्यादा अच्छा लगेगा. Thank you so much.